IVM.
कृपया ध्यान दीजिए, the language used on the podcast may not be fit for consumption. We warn you, tread carefully. But listen yaar, don't be so conservative. Yes, welcome once again to our show if you're watching. And yes, we're still in lockdown. I spoke to the CMO. They said, please carry on with level 3 or level 4. It doesn't matter. I think 2 or 3 years, this thing will dissipate completely and we'll go to level 2. So I don't think you lose hope about that.
From uncensored and unfiltered chats with the who's who of the entertainment industry, I, Siddharth Kannan, bring you a very heartcake chat show called Candid Kannan. Tune in every Friday on the IVM podcast app or wherever you get your podcasts.
In the meantime, it's Monday morning, cock and bull, and it's time to test the mettle of these two young academics. The word for today is... can I have them? Yeah, because I want to eat cheating. Hands up, please. Hands up, please. I don't trust yours.
This is going to be a new segment from now on. The vocabulary test.
Just the Mondays. Just the Mondays. Silvery, especially you young people cheat a lot. Okay. And time is of the essence. The word is Uroxicide. UXORICIDE. UXORICide. Okay, I have no idea to pronounce it. Also, on second thoughts.
Yeah, it's when someone stone pelts themselves to death. It's when you rock society.
This is a good thought, and I see that you're in a very positive frame of mind for the beginning of the week as well.
Yes,
you are so not close. You're as close as me to joining Jeff Bezos next week on the moon or wherever the hell Mars, where the hell he's off to. Okay, Amit, would you like to try?
Sure, it's a chemical component.
It's not a chemical component whatsoever. It's because of the word UXO. Because side, remember, is the same as suicide, fratricide, patricide, which means to decide, basically. All right. So, shall I give it to you? Because you guys are interested in this subject.
So you decide you rock?
Well, no. You all don't think like that. You're thinking all wrong. There's the genesis of this word is for those who are in the business. It's the killing of one's wife. Shut in the other room where we are practicing UXO, if you couldn't pronounce it, of course. UXORICIDE. Yes, that was a beautiful word. Guys, keep that with you. Huh? You've already learned, every Monday you've learned a new word. By the end of the year, you'll have 10 or 12 words you can use in a cocktail conversation that will flummox the next person.
Yeah.
Silvery.
So I was practicing Uxoricide. What? I don't know how you pronounce it. Uxoricide?
You saw it, side. Don't worry, the judge will say it to you when they pass sentence after you kill your wife. Right. So you'll be able to understand then and there. You'll get it. Okay. Lots of interesting stuff, but 2 things that have to be done. One is I have a live phone call from my son. So I'm going to pass that phone to my assistant, Trudy. Trudy, put your hand in the frame so they know that it's not a lie. There you go. That's my lovely 19-year-old Miss Ghatkopar. Can you give the phone call to the wife? Because there's no question of UXORICIDE today. Today, that plan stands cancelled. And in the meantime, we now move on to Cock and Bull, and I no longer have the floor. The floor, in fact, is yours, young Silvery, as I open this.
Sure. Cyrus, you want to start off with the Euro 2020. I know you were following the entire thing. And
sports matches.
Yesterday, England lost.
Better you toss the sports ball to me, Amit. That'll be suicide. You don't want suicide now. Yeah. So, sad news. They were saying for British and English fans, getting the cup home, the cup's coming home, that whole famous promo that never really happened for the last 20 years. Well, they almost made it, but they lost in penalties. So very sad day in England. In fact, now COVID is no longer the issue. It's this loss that they're dealing with. And it's going to take some time. Because it came this close, packed stadium, 60,000 people, Wembley fans, 90% of them pro-England. And then they couldn't make it at the end. Very sad. But I was...
Penalty shots, no?
Penalty. But I'm not a fan of that penalty concept.
Neither am I. But I also, I wonder about that. You don't want games to end in ties also, especially not these kinds of games, right? So... how much overtime is enough then?
So here's the deal. This is a lottery involved in that. You have to feint the goalkeeper. He goes left or right. There's 50% chance, things like that. I'm saying, why can't we depend on fitness? You have a golden goal after 90 minutes with no clock. whoever scores the first goal after 90 minutes, just keep going on. No clock is used. And just go on with it. Whether it takes 40 or 45 minutes, let them die on their feet. But at least on endurance level will be tested. So the sports has been tested to a sense. And then we have a winner. On fitness, they basically won on fitness then. But I like that idea.
It could go on forever, right? It could go on for hours and hours and hours.
No, they'll tire, man. This is how much can they? Yeah, it may take longer than we think. But it's better than this penalty kick.
There's also a television aspect to it, right? As well. I mean, like, because
people who follow football have no life, so they'll have the time.
no, but the TV stations have programming, no?
Programming.
So I mean, like, if you're scheduling 2.5 hours for a football match, and you wind up needing 5,
Hey,
you've lost 2.5 hours.
If it's a Euro Cup final, you're getting more money out of a longer final than anything else. You want to cut to a volleyball.
No, you're not, because you've already sold. You sold what you sold.
I think the premium on what you're selling for the final will be much more. I think the sponsors should just stay on in case of this kind of situation.
You can't just bill a sponsor saying that, hey, match is going long. Let me put some more ads in here. Otherwise, we should start doing 3-hour ads when we have sponsors on 3-hour shows. And hey, new sponsor, na? So just come and put some money into this.
I love
It
that.
doesn't work like that. Now you have to sell it.
That's the live format. Anything can happen. The romance of live. You have no idea.
I don't know. I think that there's no added. Also,
You're too commercial minded on this aspect. You're looking at that everything has to be, the T's have to be crossed and the I's have to be dotted. I'm saying, just in the case of a final at least, let's keep it open, like an unending game, and let them die on their feet. And the winner are those who are still standing. And those who want to salute Caesar at the end may. By the way, they did salute Caesar because Rome won and London lost.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get why they have this kind of thing, because, dude, I remember when they put it in and all the debates going around it at that time.
What do you do with the NBA if the scores are level?
You have overtime periods, but you have very short overtime periods. No? NBA overtime periods are 5-minute overtime periods, and the score of this game was 1:1. The NBA game today in the morning was 120:100. So even in a 5-minute period, the chances of the score being the same is very, very little. Like, you'll have a double overtime game occasionally. I think I've heard of one triple overtime game in my life. I don't think I've ever heard of a quadruple overtime.
So you're just trying to say it's a more evolved sport because they've already sorted out all these things.
No, it's a different. It's different. The same problem that exists in football exists in NHL hockey, right? It's because, again, it's a low-scoring game where and they do the same thing. They do a penalty shootout at the end, right? Because you just the games are low-scoring. So I mean, like, the scoring events are infrequent. So you don't know if the next scoring event is going to happen in 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 50 minutes, 100
Maybe we
minutes.
need to maybe we can think out of the box. Like they have like a stand-up competition. All the players have to perform something totally different, or singing competition. They just have to find some other gear.
They already have a golden goal part of it, right? I mean, like, they play for 30 minutes extra, right? I think.
Yep, correct.
So 90 plus 30 they play. So okay, so how much more?
That failed again.
But okay, so so you're saying that you want to go 90 plus how much longer? What if they go another 60?
No limit. There's no clock. You have to score a goal. One side has scored a goal. It goes on to 12:30 in the night. No spectators left. The commerce is killed. The other shows are cancelled, but they're going on playing. 4 of them are hobbling. 1 of them has been carried off. 2 had heart attacks. Sorry to bring that up. And but they're still playing. It's like 3-1 and 1 Pomeranian watching. But we have a winner on endurance
Okay.
and stamina and physical strength, or whatever you want to call it. Who's last man standing, literally. This is from the point of fairness. I just believe there's too much lottery involved in that penalty. I used to play football at a very high level for my school, that is inter-school matches. And I remember whenever we had these penalty shootouts, we used to feel really, you never felt like you lost or won. You just felt cheated. That's a terrible feeling. It's how I felt during the Marathi papers in school, because we never even studied for them. So how could they give us 0? You know what I mean? It just made no sense.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I feel like there has to be some end to it, no? There has to be some defined end to it. Otherwise, it's what am I thinking of here right now? I remember reading a book, and there was a game in that book which did not have any penalty. Harry Potter. In Harry Potter, one of the companion books.
The Harry Potter game. What's it called?
Quidditch. Yeah, in one of the companion things, they talked about a game which went on for like 7 days or something like that. And I mean, like, it's ridiculous, but it could happen.
The only thing is, even in Harry Potter, they were thinking it was too long.
Yeah.
we got to come up with a solution. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, in Harry Potter, you have to catch the snitch for the game to be
You have to
over.
catch
So if
the-
the snitch is not caught for 7 days, then the game is just continuing for 7 days.
But you know, there's the Harry Potter, the Quidditch is the stupidest sport ever invented in anything, right?
I'm sure. Yes, of course.
No, I mean, like, just think of the logic of that sport, right? Basically, you have three people playing football, essentially, or volleyball or basketball or whatever you want to call it, where they use the quaffle and they score 10 points at a time. But then that the snitch capturing is worth 150 points. So, for all practical purposes, the rest of the game doesn't matter. Only the snitch matters. The only time
So if the other team scores say a 200 points, then the 150 points won't matter. No, that's the thing.
well, yeah, so you have to dominate to kind of. Yeah.
If the seeker of the first team is close to catching the snitch, then the players of the other team have to make sure he doesn't catch that
Can
snitch. I would
just
say.
put this in perspective here for a second? We were trying to figure out what's wrong with football
Sorry.
and the ending of the most glorious game in the world, most populated, most watched by everybody. And now we have gone into a fictitious game from a has-been character called Harry Potter, who doesn't even exist anymore, for which you are showing more phenomenal passion and aggression and intent than you had for the football solution. So please carry on.
I will also just say that Antrix just like fired shots at Harry Potter because Harry Potter did that, right? Harry Potter basically when they were down 150 points, he went and got the snitch in the game in the Quidditch World Cup, the game against this guy, na?
Silvery is saying he was fine with that.
Exactly to your point, though, Amit. In the Quidditch World Cup, in the fourth book, Victor Crumb does catch the snitch.
Victor Crumb does it, right? Victor Crumb does that, right?
But they still lose. Their team still loses.
Yeah.
But he does catch the snitch.
But it's just a badly designed sport. That's
So
not
let me
very
understand.
designed.
Let me understand. From the fourth book of Harry Potter, Silvery, you can quote chapter and verse and tell me who scored at what time and what he was wearing.
Yeah,
But I'm asking you to name me one goal scorer from yesterday, the biggest
No idea.
footballing tournament barring the World Cup, and you can't give me a name.
No, I can't. You know what?
And you expect Indian sports to be in safe hands when youngsters like you are walking around without being arrested. It's unbelievable. He knows everything about a fake sport. In Harry Potter, he can quote chapter and verse on it, and he doesn't know damn thing about what's really happening. Can you name the guy against Djokovic yesterday in the Wimbledon final?
No idea.
No idea.
Not at all.
Unbelievable. Do you know what happened with the India-England match? T20 women's cricket match? Can you give me the
India
scores
won.
there?
India won.
India won, you saw the headline just now. Other than
Yeah,
that,
that's exactly what I saw. That's all I
bloody loser, unbelievable. I think I'm not sending call up the PMO. We are not sending a contingent to Tokyo because of people like you. Okay, because we are better in books. Our sports achievements are better in the books. We can just stay in the books. Harry Potter, chapter 4, verse 3, paragraph 2.
Yeah.
This is what happened. Unbelievable, man. What's happened to our country? We have become Potteratis.
The most interesting thing for me about yesterday's sports matches was Tom Cruise was in the stadium for both of them, for Wimbledon and for Euro. And I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. Someone I know.
He got a deal. Wembley is just 20 minutes away from Wimbledon. So he got a deal basically. Share a cab and boom, went from one place to the other. There are by the way, lots of Englishmen, high profile Englishmen have to be seen. Well, let's not say Englishmen, all over the world, high profile people, when they go to these big events, want to be seen or whatever. So many wanted to be there for the double whammy. I'm there at Wimbledon and I'm there at the Euro final. So I think we should later on find a list of those who made it to both.
I'm sure there must be a list somewhere out there. It'll be there in a day or so, like, the paparazzi in terms of who went to both.
There's like a couple of hours buffer. So do you change your clothes or not? And trust me, they did.
Tom Cruise did not.
He didn't. But I'm saying for the majority, they do, which is ridiculous. Tom Cruise is an American, yeah. Look at Amit. I mean, they're not known for their fashion. There's no sense of fashion.
No, what? No, of course they are.
Americans, fashion. I spent 4 months in America. You wear the same pair of jeans. You wear the same Knicks sweater. You just.
I mean, okay.
It's not. I mean, there is a sense. It's not like India in some boondocks of India for sure, but it's not like Europe. I think Europe spends a little more time on, especially places like France and all, where they really spend time on all this.
Okay.
The Americans have it all smashed out. We wear this or that. It's like it's all there. It's simplified. It's not very complicated. Look at Amit. Amit wears the same shirt every day now for the last few months.
Last 13 months.
13 months.
106 shirts.
1 of 6 purple shirts from his Harry Potter collection, book 4, chapter 3, verse 7, line 2.479. Unbelievable. So would you remember every single sporting action from Harry Potter?
Pretty much, man.
Yeah, I
Wow.
think so. I think even I could do. Yeah, even I think I could go there.
You
I think
serious?
so. Yeah.
There's no. Yeah, there's no Quidditch after 6 and 7.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can figure it out.
The game was so bad that she herself decided to let it go. By book 6, she said, "That's it, never again." Can you believe it?
They leave this 7th is not in school, and 6th there's something that happens because of which they can't have the tournament. No.
Yeah,
The MOU I signed in the morning was we'll talk 15 minutes about the sporting encounters of today and yesterday.
Yes.
And unfortunately, we've spent 15 minutes talking about fictitious sporting encounters which don't exist in certain books. So it's not even the encounter. It's a lack of the encounter we're talking about. Because in book 7, it isn't there. I don't know.
Do you like sports reading? I mean, like reading about books about sports teams and stuff like that. Not
100%.
non-fiction, not non-fiction, fiction, like made-up sports stuff.
Made up sports stuffs, I don't think I've ever read anything except, some predictions about India winning World Cups and all those kind of things.
Okay.
But other than that,
P.G. Woodhouse wrote a bunch of books about cricket, as in like school cricket and stuff like that.
well, even in his what's it called, the famous character
Smith, Blandings, Jeeves, Bertie.
Bertie and Jeeves. There's a little bit of cricket mentioned, cricket points
There is.
mentioned. You know, like
Cricket.
talking about
So P.G. Woodhouse's first stuff was what were called as school stories, right? And those were actually fairly explicit cricket because one of the guys, the hero of that, was this guy named Mike, who becomes best friends later with one of P.G. Woodhouse's most popular characters, Smith. That's Smith with a P. He and Mike become best friends. But Mike is a cricketer, and the first Smith book is actually about Mike going on a tour to America to play cricket for his club and go across America playing
this
cricket.
epidemic that you speak of has been there in your bloodline for a long time.
I enjoy
You've
reading.
been reading fictitious sporting events, etc. Of course, the sports existed, so you've done better in the past. Cricket was actually a sport.
I've read sports which exist and sports which don't exist. It depends on what book you're reading. Another one which there was a American football player who became a writer, and he had 3 or 4 books which were actually kind of shitty but still fun. They were like gambling and sports and main characters a quarterback and all that kind of stuff. Fun books to read. I like reading with like characters, athletes.
Silvery, are you also reading beyond Harry Potter? Oh, Harry Potter is everything. You get everything from Harry Potter.
yeah, I get all my life lessons are everything. My life philosophies are found through.
There you go. So you don't really need to go beyond the Potterverse
Why would I? Yes.
to understand.
Exactly.
Yeah, I totally accept that.
Yeah.
Can you show us your magic wand?
I have multiple, but this is one of them. This is what my
That's not
magic
what I had in mind. That's not what I had in mind. But yeah, okay.
Uh,
All right. Yeah.
In the chat, Mohammed Shakir has asked, please talk about how England fans reacted to the Euro loss and forcefully got entry into Wembley Stadium. Did you guys see this?
I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna guess it's something where we are
The
being
misbehavior.
You got really passionate.
yeah, English football hooligans. I guess we're supposed to use the word hooligans.
Yeah, that's exactly what.
They've got amongst the worst fans in the business. In terms of, I mean, I don't know if you followed the Euro Cup before that, where they used one spectator was using the laser thing to distract the Danish goalkeeper, and they were booing and they're trying to upset the rhythm while the kicks were being taken, etc. So they pulled every trick out of the book. So in that sense, I do see India and England having a lot in common. We've also done that in terms of jeering.
Can I tell you about the funniest thing that's been going on in the NBA finals? So Giannis Antetokounmpo, who is the best player right now on the finals, he plays for the Bucks. He's terrible at shooting free throws. He's been penalized 3 or 4 times. So there's a rule in the NBA that you can't take more than 10 seconds to shoot a free throw. So there's a rule that if you take more than 10 seconds, you lose the free throw. The opposing teams for the last 2 rounds that he's been playing, the second he gets on the free throw line, start shouting 1, 2, 3, 4 to basically make the refs call the fouls. I find this hilarious. I've never seen this before.
But they do it loudly?
Loudly, like the entire stadium is chanting 1,
Wow.
2, 3, 4, 5 to basically just first psych him out that, hey, you need to get this going. And second, or basically keeping him in count and putting pressure on him that, hey, do this now.
No. I think it's also their way to help the basketballers who are not known to be very good with counting and maths. So in case they fumble after 1, 2, whatever, the audience is there to help you. Wouldn't that make a lot more sense?
Sure.
Okay, I've touched a chord. I'm still wants to be protective. Oh, those double MBAs, not NBA, double MBAs that work in the NBA. Yeah, I'm sure one or two of them. Kobe Bryant was supposed to be very well read and smart.
Oh no, there are a lot of really dummies and there are a lot of really smart players. I mean, they both exist like in like huge numbers.
Anywhere else. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's get back to the Harry Potter world. I just love the fact you hijacked one of the biggest weekends in sport, perhaps during the entire lockdown. There were like, throwing the NBA in the mix. There were like 5 big sporting encounters in one 24-hour period. Big, not small.
Yeah.
And it just died for us. We went back to book 6 because after book 6, there ain't no sport.
Book 4.
Book 4. I stand corrected. I've got another expert here sitting next to me, by the way, whose eyebrows are raised. Well, they don't even listen to the podcast. The moment you mention Harry Potter, they're interested again. And that's what we got. Now, guys, put this together. We had 16,000 fans, 1,600 live fans on the day Swani was on with Magic. Do you think there's a correlation here? Then Magic is the key to exciting this podcast.
To getting people going?
Yeah, it looks like it. Harry Potter mentioned everybody's...
Let's turn this into a Magic podcast.
Yeah. Or at least it should have an element of magic at some point. Somebody comes and does hypnosis. We've got plenty more. By the way, I did a show with the World Zoroastrian Congress. Don't ask me details. And we had a young girl called Xenia there who was a magician. And she did a card trick, which is fairly interesting. Here on this medium. And, it was fun. So I was just thinking it's really catching on, this whole sleight of hand and magic, mentalism and all that.
Oh, I kid you not. I spent my weekend watching America's Got Talent magic videos. Quite a few of them are pretty great. Like you're always wondering, like, how are they doing this? This is unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
And I also went back and saw multiple videos more of Karan Singh Magic, who's already guested on our show.
Yeah.
And he has all these videos where he's fooling, mind reading Virat Kohli and mind reading Amir Khan, and just amazing. So go check those out also.
And he's also the only magician from Houdini onwards who's taken the title magic in his name. Just to be clear.
Correct.
A lot of respect for that as well.
Yeah.
Imagine if you're a prostitute and your name is like, Shirley Ann Prostitute. I mean, that's what it is, It's like, just spell it out. Yeah. What about, what's his name? King James, your favorite? Does he go around with the title basketballer? Or they say ballers? Which I didn't get the first time I was in America. And somebody said ballers. I was like, I thought it was like an insult and all that. And
it's calling somebody a baller, right? I mean, like, that's what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
A context. Yeah, calling him a baller, but it can mean a lot of things.
It's generally positive, right?
It is positive, and I thought he was being abusive. A baller is like the man who plays basketball. He's the man or whatever. It's very much positive, and I thought it was like I was, oh God, started again. They get into a fight because of lost in translation. Very funny country that America is, I tell you. By the way, they're having a heat wave. Have you been following the heat wave?
America, I've heard.
55 degrees in southeastern California.
Yeah.
55 degrees, which is a normal day in Mumbai, but still, I mean, that's huge. Huge.
So apparently this is going to be the norm in southwestern US now.
It is
that these kinds of temperatures.
And it was 2 years ago that perhaps the greatest philosopher of his time, Donald Trump, mentioned that there's no such thing as climate change and no such thing as these seasonal changes and temperatures going haywire. It won't happen. So the moment he left office, it was almost like they were scared of him. He left office and now they're out. And as you said, it's here to stay. And remember, I mentioned this many times as a soothsayer, that America is becoming more and more like India. You see more and more faults, whether it's in the way the vaccines are more distributed in certain places or behavior of the public sometimes, etc. Now look at it. It's the seasons. They're getting an Indian summer. They're going to feel what we feel.
It is. There's no doubt. It is hot as hell over there. Just across the board. And I mean, like, this is global warming. What are you going to do, right? I mean, like, or rather, not global warming, this is climate change.
So why doesn't it work the other way for us? I'm no scientist. Why can't it work this way, that they who experience tropical temperatures now get more temperate and horrible temperatures? Why don't we get cooler temperatures? Why can't we, like, God has given us and the world has given us?
So we do get cooler temperatures too.
So do you think that No, I'm just asking, are you talking about in winter? The winters getting colder? Or are you saying the summers are getting cooler? Because that's two different things.
No, winters are getting colder and longer.
Well, I hope so. It's something. It's like a lifeline. Yeah. It's something for people who've been sweating all their lives.
It's climate change, man. I mean, like, this is the problem with climate change. This is why we have to be less polluting.
For the last couple of weeks, I've been reading regular weather reports. Like they just show up whenever I'm looking for news topics. So weather reports just show up, and very often it's like heavy rainfall expected over the last 3-4 days, over the next 3-4 days, and there's no rainfall for the next 3-4 days. But like that's happened multiple times. I've noticed in the last 3 weeks.
Coming back to your point, when you're looking for your stuff on Pornhub, how do weather reports come on? I don't get it. I
like all that. The news reporter porn and all that, that's the.
This is again Harry Potter magic,
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
you're very single-minded, you're focused, you're on your thing, and then suddenly a weather report shows up. I mean, how does it? I mean, why? Huh. Yeah, don't stop. Weather reports in India, even though we have the same technology, I presume, as everybody else in terms of meteorology and meteorological devices, etc. We still don't get them right, huh? Because I'm huge about the weather. I'm English in that way. I always check what the temperatures are, etc., etc. Temperatures we get sort of right, but rain we don't get the right time as given by the media or the meteorological department. And it's very irritating for me. But the English, at least parts of Europe, they do get it right. Well, now you'll say they don't have such a big rain issue. It comes and goes or whatever. But
actually, they have a much bigger rain issue than we do because our rain is a lot more predictable. Their rain is not as predictable. I think.
But light showers means light showers at 6 p.m. means light showers at 6 p.m. Not light showers at 9 p.m. You see, we still have Indian Standard Time even with that. It's like it's here and there.
From what I understand, I remember talking about this to somebody a while ago, and they were telling us that basically the amount of radars that we have, the radar at Colaba has not been working properly for like years. Right, and we have like 2 radars in the car. We have 2 Doppler radars for weather in the city.
What do you mean it's not working for years? What's that?
It doesn't work right.
I mean, isn't it an important part?
It needs to be fixed. It needs to be dude. That's what it is. That's the map that you see with all the cloudy stuff now. That's a Doppler radar thing. And from what I understood, that basically we just have we have issues with that, right? We have basically we don't have enough. We don't have enough of these radars. We don't have enough of these places. We don't, and you need more than one of them to get like accurate kind of this.
We wrote a gag many years back, going from your point, which is that because you wouldn't get it right, especially rainfall, yes or no. So our thing was, what is the device they're using? And we came up with this. I remember it was a good gag that we did, which is basically a coin. So they're sitting there, meteorological department in Colaba. He's got a coin. He goes, heads rain, tails no rain. Heads, okay, boom, rain. And now again, fact and fiction become the same thing. But what's the point of having equipment that doesn't work? You're going to do a lot of guessing, guesstimation as they call it. I love the word guesstimation. Guesstimation means that there is some sense of reality, but then we guess on top of that. I don't. For me, science should never be about that. That's art and creativity, yes. But I can't understand. You either tell me if there's rain or not. You are able to predict whether the rain will come at such and such a time or not. I mean, we'll give you a little bit of leeway, but it can't be ridiculous. You can't tell me Wednesday rain and Thursday the rain comes. Okay? Because suppose you planned everything like a wedding or whatever on that particular day. I mean, it makes no sense.
Well, so weather prediction has gotten better over the last few years, but it's still nowhere close to this, right? Because I mean, like, it's just so many factors, right? You've heard that famous saying, right? Butterfly flaps its wings in Brazil and a hurricane touches down in China.
Yeah.
Because there's so many factors in terms of what manages weather that it's really difficult to really kind of give that degree of accuracy. The only thing that they can do is predict cloud movements, right? That's pretty much it.
Yeah, there's another saying also, butterfly flaps its wing in Brazil and a bat flies out of a lab in Wuhan, China. So that's the other version, and that version is not a good one. I'm just putting it out there for those of you who don't know much about China.
Yeah.
China's been able to ride this second wave, I thought, quite well media-wise. No, the bashing has stopped, or is much less than I thought it would be.
Well,
have you noticed? It's figured a way to stay under the radar.
I don't think that they have, really. I think that basically people are pissed off, right? But the thing is that
we're busy fighting COVID and we can't waste time fighting the original.
People are... So that is one part of it. And the other part is, what is the remedy? What do you expect China to do? It's not like China released this on purpose. It's not like China. Correct. It's not like there was a government program to get the world sick.
I saw pictures in the paper, and Jinping has already got the support of the most important person for China. That's the leader of North Korea, who came down to Beijing to meet him and explain to him that there is no COVID, the world is lying, and he shouldn't be bothered by any criticism because in North Korea there isn't. He's made sure. And I love his solution. In a way, it's anti-humanitarian, but it is a solution. If you have COVID, you're shot. That's it. It ends very quickly.
Are they still doing that though? Is that still a thing? Or I think was that like in the beginning of the lockdown or something?
There's only one way to find out, and I'm sure that we'll. Yes. I wish Richard Branson had the guts to do that. Anyone go to a bloody Mars? Go to North Korea and find out what's happening. I'd like to see that. Except for the other basketballer. What's the guy with the funny hair?
Rodman.
And the girls' clothes? Rodman. What? I don't want to use the word freak. I have no problem with the cross-dressing and I want to dress like a woman and all that. That's all means nothing. But the fact that he endorsed that guy out of control, when they held hands, ate popcorn, watched cowboy movies, watched basketball. I mean, isn't there something wrong with that picture?
There's something wrong with the guy, right? I mean, I think that's come across clearly when you watch the Last Dance documentary, or you listen to anybody talk about him.
Did the other players like him? I mean, he became such a big name.
Interview. Yeah.
But was he liked by his peers?
So he was. I don't think anybody would consider him universally liked, but at the same time, there was a certain amount of my teammate kind of this, right? But
so they like him as a player, but not as a person.
They liked there are famous stories like Michael Jordan. Apparently, according to the Last Dance documentary, went to Las Vegas to pick him up because he was not coming back on time for like one of the playoff games. Like he literally flew to Las Vegas and pick him up.
The juvenile in the team, yeah.
Apparently, Carmen Electra. I don't know if you remember her.
Yeah. They had an affair or marriage or something.
Yeah. So apparently, she was in the room.
I remember Carmen Electra more than I remember Dennis Rodman. I couldn't get his name out.
I think that everybody would remember Carmen Electra.
No,
but I think that,
not you basketball, you ballers, not you.
Okay. But apparently he and Carmen Electra were together at the time, right? So she was in the room and Michael Jordan went and pulled him out of the room at the time.
They were in the act of...
I don't know if they were in the act as such, but
he broke all rules of engagement and came through social proximity barriers.
So I think what had happened was that he had permission to go for a night and he went for like 3 nights or something like that and just didn't show up at the time.
I just got the answer to that. So Jordan walks in, he pulls Dennis Rodman off and then realizes that's Carmen Electra because of the hair. Simple mistake. Yeah. All right.
Also, Dennis Rodman was in a pretty cool Jean-Claude Van Damme movie called Double Impact, if I'm not wrong.
No, that's an oxymoron. That's an oxymoron.
Twin Impact.
First you say pretty cool Jean-Claude Van Damme. No, yeah, he's right. Impact. Oh, let's ask the man who watches Jean-Claude Van Damme Impact films.
Double Impact was him in a double role.
Sudden Impact.
Sudden Impact was the hockey movie, I think.
Oh God, look at us. We put out a podcast for the people to consider.
Double team.
Not a single fact.
Double team. Is
okay.
Yeah.
Nothing we say is correct.
Double Team.
It's unbelievable.
I don't remember that movie.
And this is Jean-Claude Van Damme. Yeah, it must be the worst memory of his life. Yeah. Should we take a quick break? It's way past our time. The Grand Prix, MasterChef Australia, Ricky Ponting, Shane Keith Warne, the Melbourne Cricket Ground and kangaroos. Now, those are all the things I think about when I think of Melbourne, Victoria and Australia. But did you know that the tech sector in Victoria is growing rapidly as well? So tune into the new show, Global Victoria Tech Talks. And now I'll do that in my new Aussie Melbourne-ish accent. Tune into the new show, Global Victoria Tech Talks, where they share some amazing and compelling tech stories coming out of Melbourne and how the Victorian government is helping nurture and support the edtech and gaming industries there. Tune into the show on IVM Podcasts app, website, or whatever you get your podcasts from. The show is presented by Global Victoria, the trade arm for the Victoria government in Australia. Australia. Oh, let me do that again. Australia. Okay, Australia. Victoria government in Australia. My hallowed guest is getting upset. All right.
Who is your hallowed guest?
Oh, you can't see him, but I don't want to turn the camera. You'll have to come into frame. He says, don't tell Amit I'm here. Okay, I'll give you a hint. His same name won the Junior Wimbledon yesterday. Banerjee.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. That's not in any Harry Potter book, huh, Silvery? You wouldn't know about the bloody Banerjee kid who wins. Unbelievable. No idea. Okay, I'm now having a second podcast here. That's why he must be wondering what's going on. But he doesn't realize there's ethics involved. We're in the middle of something. We'll speak to you later. needs attention. He's like a girlfriend. Okay, I should take that back. I take that back. Before we get badgered on this show, he's like a either girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever, in a relationship. And this PC, it's gonna be so hard to do anything. Well, I'm gonna keep a second person just to apologize if I do any more stand up now. You get on stage, you have a second guy who's just going to say sorry every 30 seconds. You say whatever, sorry, whatever. Yeah,
like how sometimes when you're making a speech, you need to have an interpreter for the deaf and the mute.
Yeah.
And you can just have a guy standing there the entire show, just like holding his ears.
I just pause for a second and he says the word and he keeps the position throughout. Yeah, that's good. I have just the guy for it. Yeah. No, we're just discussing the nuclear proliferation at the moment, which is out of control. And Amit says the countries have to come to the table, otherwise humanity will be destroyed. Youngsters. All right.
Let's get to a couple of topics.
Oh shit, we didn't even speak about anything, did we? Vaguely we spoke about the sports. The sports got hijacked by your Harry Potter, so that we lost.
Yeah. But we spoke about sports matches.
And when Amit is here, for some reason, NBA keeps coming out. Yeah, multiple sports matches. Yeah. Sylvie won't let you forget that for life now.
Actually, I don't even understand what I said wrong. I'm like, yeah, they're sports and they're matches.
Nobody uses a phrase like sports matches. I don't know explain to you like normal sports loving guys in the English language anywhere in the world will not use the word sports matches. They'll use matches, they'll use sports, but not sports matches.
Okay, like that.
It exposes you if you're pretending to be something. You'll say that and everybody will know that you're not that, into sport immediately. I had a gay friend. I won't take his name because Rajat doesn't like it. And so whenever we used to go out drinking, we used to go out drinking. And this is a true story. He would always do this whole acting thing about, how we men are. Now, I apologize to everyone listening, but men are like that. You look at a pretty girl and you start objectifying the girl. I won't take the words and whatever, but with a few drinks, it can become quite jungly. So he started joining in. Yeah, she got a nice, But he said, stop the acting. It's not your thing. It sounded wrong, this is too much. I don't know, the creepy Indian man just does it normally, It's not ever too much. Nobody actually goes like, he would go into one of those bad avatars of overacting in a 70s film about a molester 20-year-old woman who's his neighbor's daughter. But no. So it doesn't ring true. Same as sports matches. Yeah, sports matches. Have you ever used sports matches? I'll check proof. I'm asking this gentleman who's next to us. Sports matches have you used? You played under 19 for Maharashtra. Have you ever used sports matches?
Never.
He has sworn on his parents. He has never. This is Kostov, who's played under 19 football for Maharashtra. He has never ever used the word sports matches. Yeah. Oh, sorry. India. He's played under 19 India. What? Under 19 India or under 19 Maharashtra? There's a bit of a difference. India?
Yeah, we won Maharashtra. That's when we played.
You won Maharashtra?
Yeah.
India played against Maharashtra. This is secessionist football. What's going on?
Inside Maharashtra.
You won in Maharashtra and then you represented the country.
The state Maharashtra or that's nationals.
You can't hear what he's saying, but basically he took part in the nationals, but for Maharashtra, so I was right. Yeah. He didn't represent India. You didn't play against France, did you? These sports matches that these people are talking about going out of control.
Games is the more common word, right? I mean, that's what I think everybody calls
it. Matches is fine. If he says matches, games, matches, clash, finals, all would be fine.
Clash is something only people say on television. Nobody ever uses the word clash other than TV.
But when you talk about one big game like the final, you might say, I'm waiting for the clash or whatever.
It's only on TV, dude. Nobody uses that word in
whatever. Maybe not. But sports matches is just untrue. You hear sports matches and it's like it's like a veg guy in a non-veg buffet. He's saying all wrong things. He doesn't know what he's saying. Mutton do piazza. Wow, never had it before. Okay, Banerjee has left the room, so now we can bitch him out properly. Unbelievable. What is this? How can you not understand? If you're playing for Maharashtra, it's a state level. If you're playing for India, it's an international level. It's a different level. Any moron will understand that. Thank God he didn't play for India. We don't want this kind of idiot playing for the country. Nonsense. Maharashtra is a state level. Below. He's gone out. Let's say what we want. La, 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 la. Now, let's get back to our sophisticated show.
Yes. Let's do a couple of topics before we get to the AMAs, I think.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you aren't following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Would like to thank the sponsors on the network this week, Cred, Ciet, and Global Victoria. Thank you so much for making this possible. On Cyrus Says, Cyrus is joined by the hilarious and extremely charming illusionist and therapist Suhani Shah. They talk about different aspects of magic like sleight of hand, mind reading, mentalism, and more. The Habit Coach completed 500 episodes, 500, and Ashton has a special message for us on the occasion. Do check that out. We had Lekini Desai, founder of the India Ethnic Company, talk to Varun Digirala about their story and the Hatke marketing idea that made them popular. On Naan Curry, Sadaf and Archit celebrated World Chocolate Day. They took us through the origins, history, economics of chocolate, and shared their memories. On Tere Mere Raste, Keshav Chaturvedi shares an interesting story from Leh. Check out an updated version of the Traveling Professor's Diary. It's now rechristened as Smarter with Sid. Same old brain filled with new stories and insights. This time, listen to know why you should keep things simple. And finally, check out Global Victoria Tech Talks. This one is in partnership with Global Victoria, the trade arm of the Government of Victoria in Australia. The edtech and gaming industries are booming in Victoria, Australia, and this series is meant to showcase that. And with that, let's get you back to your show.
Follow me at Instagram and Twitter on Bored Brocha. I'm so bored, I need your help. I need your love. I need your touch. Okay, just follow me.
The first one is Richard Branson became the first billionaire to go to space and return safely, to go to the edge of space and return safely in his own Virgin Galactic spaceship kind of. And became the first billionaire. So basically space tourism has launched in a way, I would say. Yeah.
And also his Virgin works here because he sort of broke the barrier.
Yeah,
in this
kind
case.
of, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
That's what I think. That's a part of how he thinks of it, right? I mean, like his brand is.
That's why he wanted to be first, more than anything else.
So I wonder, was the goal beat Bezos?
Yeah, I think so.
Get there before Bezos? I mean, like
There's a little bit of
Bezos announced that he's going to do this as well. He announced his date, and then like a week after that, Richard Branson came forward. No, I'm going to space 9 days before Bezos, basically.
Yeah, but you see, a little bit with the rich guys, the alpha males in the room is also whose PP is bigger.
Yeah.
And that's an important part that they can, because without that, they won't have the competitive spirit. So you've got to understand, I personally feel that has to be part of it. But in his case, because what do they get out of it otherwise? It's great branding for yourself.
Yeah,
great branding for yourself. And Branson and Bezos are the brand. In Branson's case, even more, I would think. You know, in a sense.
Branson's case, much more than Bezos, I would think.
Yeah. So he's wearing the brand. He's like what Kingfisher used to be with the other gentleman. Unfortunately, that didn't work out so well. But so I think you think it works out for him in terms of finance at the end? I mean, can you ever correlate that to gain?
I think it absolutely does. Yeah.
So it depends on what the space stuff turns out to be, right? I mean, like
no, that's correlated completely to the exact gain. I'm saying because of the brand value of Branson going out to the products that he has from the airline to other things. Does the publicity garner, does it translate into some sort of gain across the board for him?
In his case, it clearly has, right? I mean, like, I don't know that you could always say that that's the case, where, like in Jack Ma's case, it clearly hasn't, right? But I mean, like, for different reasons.
Wow, you're a cruel one. Yeah.
No, but I mean, like, it's the same thing in some ways, right? Is the personality outstripping the brand? And what are the impacts of that? In Bill Gates' case, that was an issue, right? Where in Steve Jobs' case, that was an issue, right? Apple has kind of moved past it. Microsoft has moved past it. But Microsoft has become a much more anonymous company than it used to be, right? Microsoft used to be everywhere. Now you don't hear about Microsoft because it's plumbing now. It's not like, it's not like doing the fancy shit. Now you hear about FANG companies.
Micro has become really soft in that case. But going back to him, I think it really works because his brand is that wild, not wild in a negative way, but wild in a positive way. A frontiersman who tries to challenge things, who's the first guy through, in a positive way, I'm saying. That image that he has and then breaking through to Mars or whatever, or into space, is also, it's in the same vein. And he's done all similar things like, going in balloons and all things that you think are weird, but they're also very manly-ish, flamboyant, which is him. I met him, by the way.
Wait, didn't the balloon also go into space?
I can't remember. Bro,
I feel like I remember. I feel like
he announced the airline as Virgin and there were no women involved. I was like, what, really? I don't know what male Virgin from England who's 47 years old? No. So, he lost me there. Banerjee is back, by the way, speaking of virgins. Yeah. These guys are mean.
I do feel like the balloon went to space. I feel like it was a space balloon.
Eventually, Amit, yes. Eventually, yes.
I know, but I think it was a space balloon, right? I think that's what it was. It was supposed to be a space balloon. Like it just touched space and came back. But I feel like I remember that.
What about breathing and all that, bro? What are you talking about?
No, so I mean, like it was great. It was insane how they did that, right? It was like he was completely put into something like this. He was like in like deep breathing stuff. I remember watching like some videos around it, and it went up really fast. It wasn't like going up like one of those balloons we see at like picnics in France or some shit like that. It was like
It started off like that. It started off like that, and then they didn't tell him how far it was going to go. Yeah, but I don't know. But I would love to know. And this is from advertising days. I worked in advertising. Unfortunately, we never know whether you can push a brand really beyond point of sale for a short while for a certain thing, like which is correlated completely to what you're doing. That you can get numbers and figures for. But when you're looking across the board, Virgin Airlines and above, does it all translate 5 years later in perspective? You look back and say, man, because this guy does these things, it really helps his brand grow and financial growth correlated because of that.
I'm sure they see that. I'm sure that's why they do it, right? Because otherwise,
what about Amazon? What about Amazon? You think he needs that?
I think this is a great way to show the efficacy of or the safety of their space flight, at least, right? If they are targeting space tourism, this is a great way to show.
That's a good point. The young man, Harry Potter's come in with a very wise point.
What is bigger than the main guy who
put your money where your mouth is? Now I'll pay for
so I think that's
money. Fair enough. Because if you're taking the flight, then it must be. It's a good thing.
Also, what is another interesting thing about the Jeff Bezos thing is that Richard Branson, the flight he's taking, the spaceship that he's taking, that has already made like I think 3 or 4 journeys to the edge of space and come back. So to see if it's this thing, if it's like working properly or not.
You mean there's no test flight for Branson?
For Bezos, no. For Bezos, there is, at least for that rocket, there is no test flight. Maybe another version of the rocket.
Which one didn't have the test flight?
Bezos has not had the test flight, and Bezos will be the first person. Like on Blue Orchid, he and
Bezos is not had a rehearsal of the flight with other people.
No, they've not.
They've not done people. They've not done people, but they've tried. The
rocket has gone into the orbit, but no person has been inside the rocket.
People have not. Yeah,
I would say that's a little shaky, bro.
Yeah, that's
the reason why that's why it's such a thing now. Also, why do people like? Why is it a thing? It's a thing because Bezos is doing this.
No, I mean this is really mean. But then Mrs. Bezos, after the divorce, will get everything ultimately. I mean, if the rocket don't come back.
No, the divorce is done, dude.
Yeah, the divorce is done. But I'm saying if he don't come back, then it's not who inherits the earth.
Whoever Bezos will says inherits it.
Children. Yeah.
Once a divorce is done, settlement is done, no, dude. That's how that works.
Then you think about it this way: you're worth billions of dollars, 2 of the richest men in the world, literally. Why do you need to do that? Because the risk, there is a certain amount of risk, and
there is right? That I mean, like there are personality traits which lead people to becoming this kind of success as well, right?
Because it's there, the mountain. Yeah.
I mean, like, and I mean that's that's the kind of person who does this stuff.
Oh, that's a risk-taking personality trait, which is clearly
risk-taking. Yeah,
no, but seriously risk-taking because you're putting your money where your mouth is. It's one thing to risk your finances; you're risking your body and life. In a sense.
So think about like Amazon in terms of risk taking and stuff like that, right? They've taken huge risks, right? Yeah. Right now, they started out as an e-commerce company, right? And e-commerce is a big part of what they do and it's what they're known for. But look at all the other stuff that lies behind it, right? I mean, like their AWS, which is their cloud computing system, right? And so like Microsoft and Amazon is much bigger than Microsoft in this space. Basically, the cloud computing part of it is huge. Like Netflix runs on it, TikTok runs on it, everything except for Google, Microsoft, and Facebook stuff runs on Amazon, right? I mean, like everything runs on Amazon.
The biggest risk that Amazon has taken, you have not mentioned, is the Indian accent. It came here and it's become Amazon. I've even heard Amazon. Amazon I've heard. Amazon se aa gaya. I mean, that's just fabulous. Just the other day, the guy, my building liftman said Amjun se aa gaya, and I thought the name Amjun, 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 and so we had this. When you have the dumb name thing where people repeat the name to each other, it's a beautiful moment in civilization. We go Amjun, 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 and then my daughter says he means Amazon. because the younger year can pick these things up better. I was like, what? Yeah. But that's why he's going to space. He just can't take it anymore. What have they done to my name? It used to be a river in South America. Oh, by the way, the pronunciation in Spanish is a little different too, isn't it? Or in the Native American languages, Mayan or whatever, where it comes from. I'm not sure the genesis. But it's not Amazon the way we say it in English. The inflections are different. Yeah, I'll get back to you with that.
No, yeah, I'm sure you're right.
It's like Jaguar. Jaguar, when you hear them say it, they don't say Jaguar, they say something else. It sounds very different from Jaguar. It's there somewhere, but it's Jaguar. It's like 3 syllables.
I know what you're saying. That sounds right to me. I think you'll see parallels like that all over the place, right? I mean, like Indian words, right, which are used in English and stuff like that. We see how we say them in
Make him Juggernaut.
What was there was one which was in bungalow, right? I mean, like in India we say bungalow, right, or bungalow, right, whereas it's bungalow, right, in English. So I mean that's the word origins are.
Although my American friends all say truth properly for some reason. Oh, they know me. So all makes sense now. Yeah. Shall we go to AMAs, boys?
Let's do that.
Yeah.
We have a piece of feedback on the AMAs of Antriksh, and I think I agree with that as well, right? We should do this too. We should mix up the email AMAs and the live AMAs.
All right, sure.
Or the live AMAs chats we should just mention as we go along.
Yeah, well, we can do that, right? But I think
because like you did a couple of times. Because let's keep them interested in the chat with us because they're actually in the chat with us, which is different from the email.
Okay. We
like if it was on television, if I could speak to someone at the same time, the way we're freewheeling, I would love to speak to them because they're part of it. I mean, if we could, as in not all the time, but you could.
Well, I mean, don't you have the chat visible to you?
No, because my tech expert, the football champion from his under 19 days 4 years ago when he was 21. We don't have the chat here apparently.
We're
getting the chat delivered.
It's possible to do. Cost of the tell him to click comments next to private chat.
Click comments
next to private chat. Yeah.
He's made that disdainful look about please don't tell me what to do because any 8-year-old can do this.
Yeah, can you see the comments now?
Yeah, Devika Lakhote I've got from there downwards.
Yes.
Okay. Guys get Cyrus something, but then he scrolled up, so I've lost that guy. You should start reading out. Okay, that's what you were talking about. Devika, ladies first. Whatever she says, we go with that. The listeners' emails are more funny and well thought out. Live MMA. Oh, very nice criticism. Live AMA only lets people who are awake at the time to Live EMA only lets people who are awake, you morons who are awake at the time to ask questions. I mean, who's awake at 10 o'clock in the morning following this stupid show?
No, dude, we have a lot of international listeners.
That's fair. No, I like that. Okay, so I guess Cyrus is a better computer. Oh God, Amit is going to go broke, or rather, Pratiliti will go broke because he's got everything. There's nothing left. We've put from the smallest device to the largest hard disk thing. We've got everything. Okay, what is the word? Don't the carpenter and the tool. I mean, let's not blame the tool all the time, right? Banerjee, under 19 captain of India, Asia, and the World Games, behind me is very happy with the situation. Opera Todd says Mamba. Now, what the hell is that?
Mamba. He's referring to Kobe Bryant.
Kobe. Oh, the name. Why did we bring the pet name of Kobe Bryant? Okay. Come on, guys, pick up what pistol in Hindi. That's a very good bottle. You're talking about where the language change was subtle, but still there. Pistol becomes pistol. Pencil, bottle. It's it's negligible, but there, just in the inflection. Amit, Microsoft is doing extremely well in the cloud space. Vineet Khandelwal, just a slight slap on the face here.
I know that.
Yeah. The swole is the goal, size is the price. Cyrus looks bulked. Oh, okay.
Okay, all right, okay. I think we don't want you to go through the comments like that, right? Because that's
I'm like a kid with a new toy. Leave me alone. Post Papa. This is my favorite podcast in the morning and evening. Travel back to home. Morning and evening. Our live show goes out twice.
No, the person is saying that he can't finish the episode on one-way journey. So listen to the rest of the episode on the way back home.
All right. Just drop your face in, no? I just want everyone to see you. What's the point of you being here? This is my nurse Braganza. She's beautiful. Kal shave karke aana, because there are people watching the live stream. Yeah, she just helps me with my diet and things like that. All lower body issues, which she's nice enough to look after. Silvery wanted everyone to know he is not talking about Tinder matches, but sports matches. Good point, Silvery.
Yeah, great. Yeah, that's exactly what I want.
The moment we come back to your comfort zone, your whole attitude changes completely. Once in a while, when we start having cricket conversation, not so much with Amit, but so with when we have someone who did we have recently who was cricket crazy, but he wasn't there for that.
Siddharth Deshmukh.
Siddharth was not. Cricket was incidental, but 50% of the conversation went back to cricket. And when he was on, Silvery would just go quiet the moment we start discussing something about Kamble and Tendulkar, and he was like, the bulb on top was like, oh, here the old farts again. Had to kill 5 minutes.
No, but I remember Siddharth's story was very fascinating about playing cricket against Sachin and Kamble. That was amazing.
Yeah, and he got them out. Well, he got out to Sachin and he got Kamble himself.
Exactly.
So I hope he's telling the truth about that, because that's a bit of two big names and both of them involved with him in the game. Okay, guys, Michael Scott says.
Okay,
should I do it? Bundy's tape and Son of Sam. No, yeah, go ahead. But that's all three of us like that genre. That's why. Yeah.
What's that? Sorry, what questions?
The Son of Sam and the Ted Bundy tapes and all the stuff we discussed before.
Oh yes, yes.
This is three of us have this is
Michael Scott is asking it. That's also funny.
Michael Scott
The Office reference.
Yeah.
Yes.
Could be Chadda.
I saw an amazing documentary this weekend. Have you seen McMillions?
No, spelled with a millions.
Okay, so so McDonald's McMillions.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It was incredible. So it's a 6-part documentary about this scam that happened between 1989 and 2001, where basically McDonald's, as part of its its marketing, used to have this prize that would be like you could win a real money prize and stuff like that, right? So basically, on the different on the cup or the drink cup, there was a sticker on fries.
We all had that. Didn't India have that in all the cold drinks and stuff?
I don't remember if they had that with like this, but apparently what happened in this was that somebody photoed the entire system, right? And all the good prizes or all the big prizes went to people who he was connected to. And so what he did was he got connected to the mafia, and the mafia started finding dupes who would then basically go and collect the prize and give half the money to the mafia guys, or sometimes an upfront payment to the mafia guys. And then after that, I was amazed. And there are the people involved in this stuff are so weird and so kind of crazy. It was really fun to watch.
I just like corruption stories from outside India. I just feel a sense of empathy then with everyone in the world. It's like the song "Imagine." We'll be as one. That we need that commonality to bring us close. Guys, we are missing a lot of interesting stuffs. The nurse needs waxing, says Shiv Kumar. Hello, nurse. Briganza says Techno. You become a star. Banerjee, they're going berserk because you're the closest to a hot woman we've had on the show. You with your beard. So,
but we didn't answer Michael Scott's question. Have any of you watched Ted Bundy's tapes and Son of Sam documentary?
I haven't seen either of those.
You haven't seen Son of Sam? We discussed it.
I know you told me to watch it. I haven't seen it yet.
Have you seen the Ted Bundy one, Cyrus?
I mean, Son of Sam actually goes into a conclusion.
I've seen the Son of Sam movie, but I've not seen the.
I know two girls who walk dogs with me in the evening, ladies, not girls, and both of them. It's a horrible thing. I hope they don't hear this thing. They said they find him attractive. And the whole thing about Ted Bundy.
Oh, Ted Bundy. Okay.
Yeah, that he's quite an attractive man to look at. Obviously, he's a horrible human being and all that.
That was the whole thing with Richard Ramirez. Also, the same thing happened. No, where he would go to court for his hearings. And there were a lot of these women outside court and in court just falling all over him.
It's such a common...
They acted on it.
No, but this is such a common theme.
Repulsive drive.
So in these TV shows around serial killers and stuff like that, right? It's such a common theme, like all the detective shows where the serial killers have found somebody who falls in love with them while writing letters to each other and stuff like that. I've got to assume that there is some truth to that, right? Because it's just so common. I hear it all the time.
Even our very own Charlie Sobraj is very good with the ladies. So that scared the hell out of me, that their reaction was that. They didn't say it in a creepy way, it's not about writing letters in a prison to him or whatever. But it was just the fact that they found that he looked like a very good looking man who became really evil. And that was like a paradox to them that normally you'd think of the guy who did that to have nothing going for him. But God, Oof, ouch. Okay, let's go back to the nurse. This is too heavy for us. Amit's trivia talks are a great addition to the podcast. Amit, did you send that yourself? And are you tech opinion?
Tech opinion, yeah.
Our self-esteem is so low. If anything good comes, we always think it's one of us, or my mom, or somebody like that. Yeah.
I have a very
PSW says,
interesting
love you,
question.
Cyrus. PSW. Bet it's a boy. Go on.
I have a very interesting one from Kashan Shetty. He says, imagine if teleportation ever gets invented, would any of you bravely use it? Also, would it work better on a first come, first serve basis or something like a bus pass system or just for the rich?
I'm in favor. I'm totally in favor. About the rich, the disparity in income, let's not kid ourselves, it will be for the rich. I can't see the transportation system, if you have no influence, you're getting that option. It's not going to happen. You'll have to stand at the back of platform 16 and wait like everybody else. But we, on the other hand, not we, but whoever can afford it, will take care. And why not? Amit, would you want to suffer 3 hours in traffic once this lockdown ends, which is what's going to happen? You're driving from town to car every single day for the next, 3 days a week initially or whatever it is. You're going to have bad days. You know that, and I know that. In fact, one of the good things about lockdown is that we didn't have those days.
If teleportation exists as magic, I would love for it. But if teleportation exists as science, then probably not so much.
You don't believe the science is good enough? We'll send Bezos first. We'll send Bezos or Branson as a trial run, and then you go.
Think about how it works, right? Basically, what's happening with teleportation is that basically every cell that you have at point A is being recreated and reassembled at point B, right? I mean, that just sounds like.
So then, what happens to your clothes?
So that you cannot. So basically, when you're looking at serious teleportation, right? Not Star Trek teleportation, which is magic teleportation, but serious teleportation sci-fi. It's almost always done from pod to pod. It's done with the participants naked when they're doing it. Not just naked, they have to go through metal scanners and stuff like that to ensure that there is.
What if you have an artificial hip?
You cannot.
Kunal can't be teleported, and I thought it was a weight issue. It's not a weight issue. It's the fact that he has an artificial hip.
It's basically you have to be scanned for metal and stuff like that.
I was going in for my own transplant, a certain body part I can't name. So that's out then. I'll be left. That'll be left behind, and the rest of me will be transported.
Yeah. Sorry, Vineet is bringing this up. It's not cell by cell; it's atom by atom. He mentioned it over there in the chat. That's even smaller than a cell, right? It's in the chat.
Yeah.
Not cell. Every atom.
Every atom is moved individually.
Yeah. So just the amount of replication and reassembly that needs to be done without any fuck up occurring.
Forget it. We just have to go back to platform 16. We don't have a choice. Stop this fantasy crap. You're peeing on us. You're urinating on our faces. Stop doing this. Please, for God's sake. I had a dream there for 2 minutes.
Magic teleportation like Star Trek, absolutely 101% on board.
That's like me meeting Miss Jamaica and her falling in love with me. I might as well go back to those fantasies. What's the point of this one? This is ridiculous now. Firstly, with the bum hip, you can't go. With this, you can't go. With that, you can't go. There's too many problems.
Think about it. Think about if you're in the teleport. Have you seen the movie The Fly? Jeff Goldblum?
Of course, Jeff Goldblum.
So what happens over there? He got stuck in that teleportation mystery. He gets stuck in the teleportation machine with the Fly. That's how he becomes the Fly.
But if you met Jeff Goldblum in the dark, fly or no fly, he is odd looking.
He is very odd
looking. He's about 6'4", 6'5", with big eyes, bulging eyes, and he's a strange looking man. He's a lovely guy apparently, but whatever. Okay.
Yeah, but he's incredible, but weird.
Okay, shall we do one more quickly?
Sure.
Okay, sure. Sorry, I forgot quite a few.
But I like this, and a lot of people are saying do an AMA special. We did an AMA special, but somebody lost the tape. No, that's 1980s. Somebody lost the. I can't take that back. That's gone into the universe. Somebody lost the tape. You won't hear that. Sports matches or not. No generation today would ever use words like somebody lost the tape.
That is
God,
true.
Can you believe my kids have never seen a DVD player? So, DVD. It was only yesterday DVD. It wasn't that far. How long was the DVD?
So somebody actually had this happen to them, right? I read this, I think, on Twitter, or somebody told me about this. But they had an old floppy disk on their table or on their this, right? And somebody said, so basically what was, so the question asked to that person was, so you 3D printed the save icon. that was the assumption, right? Because why would this be a real thing?
But it wasn't that far back, is what I'm saying. Was it that far back? I
No,
know
absolutely not.
it wasn't that far back. Just 5, 7, 8 years, maybe.
Cyrus,
No,
in
no,
our
it wasn't
lifetime, the internet did not exist in our lifetime.
So the 90s was the real, up to the 1990 it seemed okay. Then the change has been too fast, bro. Too fast.
The changes started, I would say, like technology changes started with the internet, to be real. I mean, like before
Yeah.
that, computers were too wonky. They were like basically,
Not with the BJP.
well, I mean, that's a different kind of change. That's a different kind of change.
Watch it. There's no need to go there. They've done nothing to you. Be nice. Yeah, you're the Gujarati in our mix. You look after us. You can't be the bad one. Then I have to turn to the Punjabi. By the way, you can buy my wife's painting. Anybody watching the show, we'll start at 50,000 rupees. Money goes to an NGO, myself, and we'll see how it goes.
Cool. Shall we do one more and then end it?
Yes, sure. This one comes in from Girish Patil. He says, NBA question, Amit and Cyrus, your opinion on Scottie Pippen's comments on Michael Jordan being selfish and Phil Jackson being racist?
So,
But he says selfish with the ball or selfish in life.
it doesn't matter. Michael Jordan's acknowledged as a selfish asshole. Everybody knows he is.
No, but one sec. We're talking about him as a player, solo, selfish in that sense, or because as a human being, he's known to be, full of himself and all that. I mean, but that doesn't concern me at all. I don't care.
Right. So even as a player, right? I mean, like Michael Jordan was all about Michael Jordan, right? I mean, like but again, he knew he was better than anybody else was, right? So he should be all about him, right? Shouldn't he?
No. One sec. You got to understand what does the team score more points and win more games because he plays for himself, or that's the question,
No,
right?
so
In any team sport.
he doesn't play for himself like that, right? I mean, like the most famous shots that they won titles on, right? Michael Jordan didn't shoot them. John Paxson shot them. Steve Kerr shot them. So I mean, like that's
but
not.
he assists and passes at the right. I mean, he can't be one of the greats of all time and be so completely one-dimensional. It doesn't make sense.
No, he's selfish in the sense that he knows that he's the best player and the ball should go through him.
That's narcissistic. That's a little different.
Yeah.
I'm saying
Is it narcissistic if it's true?
there's a huge self-belief, but he believes that he's the best guy for that shot then.
Yeah.
Right? He takes that shot so they get 3 points. It's a 3-pointer or whatever. So that makes sense to me. So he's backing himself to do that for the team. It's different from him just playing on his own, like we have growing up in school. We always had these guys we used to call solos. Not Silvery. His school in Panchgani had something else going on because no idea of sports except for Quidditch or Kaddish or whatever it is. Yeah. So no. But coming back to these guys, the legends, I'm saying, what do I care? What they are off court, unless they're criminals, of course. It has no bearing because we're only interested really in the person's performance on court or on pitch.
Right.
So I hear about this all the time. About great people. What is Tiger Woods? Turned out to be a porno lover, and this. Who cares?
How does that matter? That's not.
So they started thinking that he's a sex maniac and he's this and that, and bringing down his luster in the eyes of all the people. It's got no bearing on his golf.
Okay. All right.
And as a lover of both sports, no, I'm not. Just golf. Just golf. Okay. I think, guys, we've spoken too much. The people are saying, shut up, stop it. This is the worst show ever. Can you never play it again? I mean, I think we should accept. Okay. Michael Scott says NYC.
He's saying, guys, if you're interested in how the Mafia 5 families in NYC collapsed, then do watch Fear City, NYC versus the Mafia. Great, I've seen that.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah, Cyrus, we were talking about it.
We saw it.
Really great. Yeah.
How they get them
How
with
they planted the bugs and all in the family's homes and cars and Rico case, yes.
When Rudy Giuliani was a real lawyer rather than being just like the nut job that he is today.
Yeah, well, the last 5 years have been terrible up to 2001 and all that. He was a different guy apparently. But he cleaned up the streets, didn't he?
Yes.
Where I stayed in New York. Oh, all those lovely peep shows. Silver, you'd have loved them. For 10 cents in 94, you could go inside this place and a woman will, a lady would, show her body to you. But it was literally for 3 seconds. So, and all brown skinned people like me who would queue up in those places. You put your eye in and you see this beautiful woman and then it would shut. And they were like, put 10 cents more. So can you imagine? Nobody left that place. Indians with lots of coins, where are you going? Peep show. Nobody else would go there because it's a con job. It is shut in a few seconds every time. That was life. Okay, guys, I've got to now work very hard with my new assistant. And so we'll bid you farewell.
And nurse.
And nurse, yes. Sweetie, Say bye to everybody. Can you take off your thing because they want to know whether you're male or female? No, just that's it. This role doesn't require you to speak. I've told you before. All right. Bye, guys. See you.
Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you, we need you. Send us your questions on Twitter on Cyrus Says In, or you can email us, even if you're not female, on whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
If you love cricket, listen up. The Edges and Sledges Cricket Podcast is here for you. Hosted by DJ, Varun, and me, Ashwin, we bring a fun, fresh fan's point of view to talking all things cricket. Sometimes it's just the three of us, sometimes we have guests, including current and former international cricketers. For new episodes every week, check out the Edges and Sledges Cricket Podcast on the IBM app, website, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Feeling overwhelmed, anxious, struggling with too many obstacles, don't know where your life is headed? Well, if you are dealing with one or all of these, tune into the Positively Unlimited podcast, because in each episode, I share a life lesson, a life hack, a pro tip that can help you get your life back on track. All episodes are available on the IBM website, IBM Podcast app, or wherever it is that you get your podcast from.